Donald and Elon go after the Department of Education. Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe and let's briefly talk about this. Now, after going through US aid and the Treasury Department, Elon Musk and his team have gotten their hands on the records that are part of the Department of Education. And there is talk that there's going to be a dismantling of the Department of Education. Mind you, the Department of Education is established by congressional statute and it just can't be dissolved by the president. It is not within the president's power to do that. Only Congress can do away with the Department of Education. But still, Elon Musk has gone into the Department of Education systems to get access to data for all the people who are enrolled in the student aid programs. So this is going to have so many bad consequences. It is going to, first of all, education is the great equalizer. No matter what background you come from, whether you're rich or you're poor, whether you're black or you're white, if you go through an education system that disseminates education on an equal basis, free to the public, it creates a level playing field for everybody. And tearing that system down is going to threaten our country's well-being. And the most immediate, it'll make us more ignorant because we're not going to have the public school system. We're going to be given vouchers, evidently. I'm not involved. I graduated 25 years ago and I don't have any children. And obviously, Donald Trump and Elon Musk and J.D. Vance would say, so why are you talking? Well, I'm talking because the future of our country and the future of our children matter. So what Donald Trump will do is, instead of rehabilitating the schools and funding public schools to expand education around the country, they're going to start culling the Department of Education. And they're going to start cutting aid from the Department of Education. So public schools will be left at the mercy of the states in which they are to be able to sustain the education system. It will be given entirely to the states. That's what Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to do. Obviously, it's illegal because Congress established the Department of Education and Congress can dissolve the Department of Education with the president's signature. But that is the process for doing away with a department that has been established by congressional statute. But Donald Trump and Elon Musk are hell-bent on infiltrating all of our departments and compromising the information gathering data and also harming how these systems operate. This is a war on education, a war on the American people and our well-being. It'll impact the rural areas the most in poor states that get more federal money than they give out, which are the red states. So, red states will experience more hardship because food programs will be impacted. And people are not going to get education by right. It's going to be, bartered out into the voucher system to go to private schools or to the public schools if the schools can be maintained by the state because the federal government is not providing any more funding. So the public college costs will go up, because the federal aid program is going to be harder to get. And even if you're an in-state student going to an in-state college, your tuition will go up. because the federal government is not going to help with paying for part of your education through the Department of Education. So these are just skimming over some of the consequences of what would happen if the Department of Education were compromised. But regardless of these dangers, regardless of these negative impacts on our society, they are going through with it anyway. I will remind you again now that remember that America is under attack from within. And Donald Trump, his MAGA allies, Elon Musk, and Doge, are all there to collapse our system of government and then rule over the ashes. They don't have any concrete plans. If you listen to the Elon Musk sort of X space thing about U.S. aid and other departments in the government, first of all, he talks superfluously as if he knows everything about everything. But the talk of it is so technical jargon that it doesn't, and it's also got this color of validity, but not really valid because he's not an expert in the field. And you have this shady character in Elon Musk and then Vivek Ramaswamy, and you have MAGA becoming a part of that, saying, oh yeah, go ahead, great ideas, undo the Department of Education. Because they don't want the great equalizer, because they want a nationalist government, because they want a purification on the basis of who is the richest and who is the most opportunist and who is the perhaps the whitest. That's where Vivek Ramaswamy kind of stuck out like a sore thumb, because he wasn't white, and so the vision that he was creating to make himself pretend like he's better than others kind of kicked him out, because he talked down to white people and about white mediocrity. So the movement of keeping people ignorant, inundating people with lies, is now expanding on a national scale and can only be stopped by Congress and then the various states that will then determine how much money they will allocate to their education systems. So the fight begins now. The fight is not ending now. Remember that. And this fight will go on, and people will sue, and teachers unions and students who are targeted for federal aid and who can't get federal aid on the basis of just arbitrary discrimination, there will be lawsuits everywhere. And it's going to be litigious. And at the end of the road, the Supreme Court will have to decide. And that puts a lot of weight on the Supreme Court. And there's no guarantee that Donald Trump would even listen to what the Supreme Court had to say in the way that he's going now. So we're kind of in the middle of the ocean with, no sight of land anywhere, paddling away, thinking that everything is all right, when really our country is diving into a national crisis on various fronts. We need to be vigilant and aware of that, and we need to push back in any way we can. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, please like and